another member of our society to help with some of the responses. Even though we don't have names, you may refer to this being as Saibo, which in our ancient language means the number 13, the number of transformation. Is there another communication? Yes. Another question?
Yes.
All right, one moment. What do you want?
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for being here today.
I'm not there. I'm here. Here on my world. Asasani.
Okay.
I am glad that is okay with you. It is okay that you are where you are?
Yes.
How okay?
Perfect.
All right. What do you want?
Okay. I want to know everything that you know about spirals.
I know nothing. Until I need to.
Okay, fine.
What do you want to know? Do you want to know what they do? You want to know what they're for? You want to know how to use them? You want to know what color they should be? What do you want to know? There's a clue already been given you. The clue is who's talking to you. What did Bashar say my name was? Saibo. What does that mean? 13. What is 13? The number of transformation. What are spirals? The shape of transformation. Change. The spiral shape in creation, in reality, is the actual graph of transformation. The shape of transformation. The engine of transformation. Very powerful. It is the skeleton, if you wish, of creation.
Yes.
Yes. Does that help?
More.
All right. You understand?
Yes, of
what
course.
is called golden ratios, golden proportions? You know these things?
Yes.
Phi ratios.
Yes.
1 to 1.618. You know these things?
Yes.
Use them in your work. What is your work?
I haven't found that yet, honestly, I don't think.
It's right there.
I do
It's
things,
right there.
but
I can see it.
I do.
Why haven't you found it? It's right there. I can see it. Why can't you? It's right there.
Okay.
Why is it invisible to you? I can see it. Why can't you? You wish to find it?
Yes, very much.
Why not use the spiral to find it?
Yes.
Spin.
And now tell me,
Did you spin?
yes.
How? How did you spin? In your mind, in your soul, in your spirit, in your body?
Everywhere. Every way.
Did you actually turn around physically? Did she?
No.
Didn't spin. Are you spinning?
Okay.
Now she's spun.
Stop. Feel the spinning. Feel the spin still going within you. What does it put you in touch with?
Continuum.
Continuum. What does that mean to you?
Everything all at the same time.
Everything
at the same exact time in all different directions at the same exact time, and then.
So you don't know what direction to go in then.
But that's the thing.
It all looks the same.
It's moving so fast.
It's moving so fast. You can't keep up.
That it's just what it is. It's just.
Yes. So why not then do anything?
But then there has to be a center point.
You are the center point. You.
Yes,
You are the center point.
I had that idea. I did. I thought about that.
Thought about it?
Yeah.
But what did you do about it?
I just hang out with that thought. I
This is you hanging out with your thoughts. Hang out with it? What do you do with it? Do with it. Do with it. What actions do you take? Actions, actions. Transformation requires action. Action, action. What do you want to do that you're not doing? What dreams do you have that you're not living? What actions do you want to take that you're not taking? Name anyone.
I would like to be very abundant.
How? In all ways?
In all ways, in all ways.
Define abundance.
Having the experience of going through a process and, you know.
Nope. Define abundance.
I really am trying to tell you something, honestly.
You are?
Yes.
Then why don't you?
Okay.
Cash flow.
Abundance. The ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it.
Correct, thank you. That's it.
That's it.
That's all.
It can be represented in a number of ways.
Yes.
We understand your planet, you have cash, but you have other things. You have gifts.
I don't know what they are.
No?
Sometimes.
What excites you?
I love to talk.
Really? Can you make money talking?
I would love to.
Then why don't you? What would you like to talk about?
This, what I'm talking about with you.
When will you do this?
New ideas.
When will you do this? When will you do this? How can you do this? What does your imagination come up with that allows you to do this?
Pardon?
What does your imagination come up with that will allow you to do this?
What does your imagination?
Yes, you want to talk. You want it to support you when you talk. So what can you talk about? How can you talk about it? What does your imagination come up with? How do you see yourself doing it that you can talk about something and be supported in the talking of that thing? How? How do you see it?
Perhaps by speaking about personal experience?
Is that a question? Or a statement?
Both.
All right. Can it be done? Can it be done? Do you believe it? Can speaking about your personal experiences in these kinds of subjects support you in life? Do you believe it?
No.
Thank you.
No.
Thank you.
No.
Thank you.
That doesn't sound right.
Well, that's why it won't work for you.
No.
You don't believe it.
No.
Why don't you? Do you not have enough examples of other people who have done it? Have other people done it that you're aware of? On your planet?
No, it's something.
No one else on your planet has ever been supported by talking about their own experiences?
Oh, no, they have. I'm
No one else on your planet has ever been supported by talking about the subjects that interest and excite you?
No, of course they have.
If they can do it, why can't you?
Of course I can.
Then why don't you?
I will.
When?
Right now.
All right. Is that enough? Do you believe you can do it?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Why? Because I say so?
No.
Why? 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 Why do you know you can do this? Why do you know it will support you? How do you know that?
I don't know.
Oh, I thought you liked to talk. Suddenly at a loss for words.
That's the paradox.
Paradox. All right. Here's how you know it will work for you. Why shouldn't it? What's the answer to that question? Why shouldn't it work for you? Give me one reason why it shouldn't work for you.
I can't.
Hello?
I can't think of anything to say.
All right. Ask yourself that question every day. Why shouldn't that work for me? If you can't answer it, move forward to the best of your ability. If you do come up with an answer, find out why you have that answer. Find out why you believe it won't work for you. But if you don't come up with anything, then move forward in any way that your imagination sees you doing the things you love to do. That's what your imagination is for. Magi-nation. You are a magician nation.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
Use your eye, imagination. Whatever you picture yourself doing, mimic that picture of you in thought, word, deed. Copy her. She's smart. She knows how to be that you. The you say you wish to be. She's already that you. Watch her closely.
Yeah, I see her there in my mind.
Do what she does. Go to the places she goes. Behave the way she behaves. Mirror her, mimic her, and you will be her, and you will have her life. It will come to you automatically. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
How does she look? Does she look rich?
She sure does.
Does she look happy?
Sure does.
Is she creating every day?
She's spiraling.
Behave like her. Be her in thought, word, deed. That is you.
Okay.
You will have her life then. All right?
Okay.
That's why she's there. It's why your imagination is there. It's keyed to you. The picture of yourself in it that you see doing the things you say you want to do, are you doing those things in that reality? The more you act like her, the more you will be in her reality. The more her reality will be in you. Make sense? Make sense? Make sense?
Yes, it does.
Repeat after me. Cha.
Cha.
Chu.
Chu.
Shimmy.
Shimmy.
Peth.
Peth.
Pon.
Pong.
Shmunk.
Shmunk.
Tsi.
Tsi.
Sha.
Sha.
Shu.
Shu.
Saibo.
Saibo.
Transformation.
Transformation.
All right.
All right.
Does that help you?
Yes, it does.
All right, all right. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
One moment, one moment. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Did that help you?
Yes, it did.
In what way?
It's just nice to talk it out with someone.
Yes. And since we all know you like to talk, that's one way of using your strengths to get where you need to go.
Exactly. Yes.
Now, that picture in your mind, she's real. She's you. Mimic her, mirror her, live her life. That's why she's there. All right?
Yes.
Is it a deal?
It's a deal.
Would you like to
Shake
on
hands?
it?
Yes, I would. Thank you.
No going back on the deal now.
Oh my God! I promise.
All right. That promise is made to yourself. Keep it.
I will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
At this timing, allow yourselves to take a short break. We will resume this transmission in about 15 of your minutes. I'll say allow us to resume this transmission in the following way. The idea of contact, as we said, happens in stages. Those stages have, to some degree, to do with concepts, ideas, actions on our part, and at the same time, concepts, ideas, and actions on your part. As we say, the idea of contact is to meet us halfway. The more actions you take on your world, in your lives, that are indicative of being yourselves and creating the world you prefer, the world you imagine contact would take place in, the more likely contact is. Even though there is a kind of overall time frame, an agenda to this that has been worked out on different levels between all of us and all of you, you can still accelerate things depending upon what you are willing to do in your lives, being yourselves fully as you can, acting in your excitement. Also, you have opportunities in your reality to already practice contact with other forms of life, because you are surrounded by many other intelligences and consciousnesses on your planet. Dolphin, whale, other animals, plants. You, by creating your energy to function as a communicator, a go-between, ambassadors, diplomats, between humans and other forms of life, will gain insight and practice with respect to forms of contact that would take place with beings from off your world. But you have so many opportunities on your planet to practice contact now, because you are surrounded by alien beings on your very own planet. Learn the commonalities, learn the differences, learn how to value both, learn how to appreciate both, learn how to use both creatively, instinctively, imaginatively, lovingly, blissfully, passionately. Learn, do, act, be. As we said, we will not be the first civilization with whom you would have open contact, but we will be among the first. The first has already initiated a program of contact to see, to gauge your response. One relatively recent incident in your history is known by the name Phoenix Lights. The ship involved in that display is of the civilization contacting you first. The ship, more than a mile long, passed over an entire state, many cities, witnessed by thousands of humans, to gauge your response, your reactions, and to awaken those that are ready to be awakened to themselves and to others. More such occurrences will happen after the response to that one has been fully gauged. One moment. When more of those occurrences unfold in your years between 2010 2017, there will be opportunity like never before for each and every one of you that are willing, that are of a mind to become more active in laying down groundwork socially, politically, for the idea of avenues that will be more conducive to creating open contact between yourselves and other civilizations. Explore what these avenues may be. Explore what avenues you are attracted to help expand the lines of opportunity for contact. Again, socially, by the sharing of information. Politically, by the establishment of ideas and the sharing of ideas within your social and governmental systems that will make it more available for contact to occur, that will gauge the response of your public to contact, become involved in activities that will help dialogue with humans to gauge their response and reaction to contact, explore through communication, conversations, what those reactions would be, and create new organizations that will help to facilitate the idea of dissemination of information and aid and assist in creating more effortless avenues for contact. All these things you can become involved in, and each of these activities will add to the overall observational readiness of your society for contact. So do these things if you are of a mind to, and you will pave the way, smooth the way. Explore not only yourselves, but pay attention to what your scientists are discovering, both in space and in pure research and in physics, because all of those things that you are now discovering are reflections of the state of readiness that you have to expand your minds beyond your world and to accept other ideas as equal to your own, as other options, other ways in which to engage the universe. Pay attention to the breakthroughs of knowledge that are made, because they are reflections of your state of being and what you are ready to absorb. You can gauge yourselves that way, create a template of how quickly you are accelerating in your willingness to open to communication with other worlds, other minds, other souls, other hearts. There are no accidents that we are engaged in this conversation this day of your time. If you are attracted to the vibration of the idea of contact, then you are part and parcel in the unfolding of that agenda. But only will you experience it to the fullest it can be experienced if you experience yourselves to the fullest. In all ways that are representative of your joy and your passion, is it important for you to act upon if you are, in any way, shape, or form, going to be capable of handling the things you will discover that will accelerate toward you as you come closer and closer to the moments of contact. Reality, knowledge, information will accelerate, and you must be able to process the new information. Processing that new information requires that you are in harmony with many of the things that are components of your personality, so that you can become superconductive enough to process this information. And information will be given on many different levels, and your dreams prior to contact will become active in a new way entirely. So pay attention to your dreams. Pay attention. For you also, on that level, in your dreams, are co-creating the template, the agenda, the programs of contact that best serve all involved. One moment. This day, this time, this energy, this vibration is all about establishing and locking in to yourselves the frequency that will unerringly, like a compass needle, guide you toward any synchronistic event that will serve you in furthering and perpetuating and expanding the opportunities for contact. That is what has been imparted to you today. A guidance system that will allow you to gravitate toward those aspects of reality that will be involved in accelerating contact. You are now like little guided missiles. Little guided missiles of love. We thank you for your willingness to absorb and take on this vibration in your own way. Let us at this timing continue with interactive dialogue to allow these types of contacts to become further crystallized in your consciousness. You may begin with question, answer, and statement. Once again.
Hi, Bashar.
And a you good day.
I have a couple questions, but one really quick one just popped in as you were saying that.
Yes.
The missiles of love.
Yes.
Can our husbands be part of that missile just by extension? Like, can I kind of incorporate him into that too when you're married to someone that might not have those same beliefs that you do, but
they are in your life for a reason.
Right.
And if you allow yourself to be in the relationship for what it is, and serve each other no matter what the beliefs, to help each other become more of who you are in whatever way each of you deems that is appropriate, then that individual is included because they are part of your path or they wouldn't be in your life.
So they're included in the raising of their awareness enough to...
They are included in the experience of gaining whatever information they need to gain to become more of who they wish to be, regardless of exactly on the surface what particular agenda that may seem to serve. If they are becoming more of who they are, that in and of itself serves the agenda of contact,
Okay.
regardless of whether they believe in it or not.
Okay.
No one on your planet has to think in metaphysical terminology to be a spiritual being.
Right.
All they have to do is live their lives as fully as they can according to what they believe it is important for them to do and be true to themselves as best as possible. And in that context, they are obviously included. They don't necessarily have to be included in any other way.
Okay.
Does that help you?
It does, because I've been reading some material on the Law of One,
Yes.
Ra,
Yes.
and it resonates very deeply with me.
Yes.
And he talks about us moving from third density to fourth density.
Yes.
And one of the questions I had for you, when you said earlier that 2012 symbolizes a lot of different things.
Yes.
Third to fourth density, I'm assuming, is one of those things that we're...
Yes.
Okay. And they talk about a harvest.
Yes.
And they talk about the frequency of individuals being harvested into fourth density.
It is a euphemism.
Okay.
In that you are simply raising yourself, your pitch, your vibration to be more harmonious with a new reality idea. For some of you, it will happen rapidly. Some of you, it will take a little bit longer. But the idea of harvesting is that in that sense, you are reaping yourselves.
Okay.
Reaping the results of the vibration you are choosing to be.
So they say that it's the dichotomy, service to others or service to self.
Yes.
They say in this material that you need to be more than 50% oriented to service to others to go into the fourth density, and 95% or more oriented to service of self to go into that fourth density. The ones in the middle are in that kind of state right now where it's undecided, and then there's some that are just going to remain in third density.
In a sense, that is true, although it doesn't necessarily serve you to think of these things in terms of percentages.
Okay.
The idea really is plain and simple. The more you are willing to be what you believe yourself to be, you will simply find yourself where you need to be when you need to be there.
With your loved ones.
If they themselves choose not to necessarily exhibit the idea of the same vibration, you may not necessarily share the same reality with them. But if you truly love them, you will love them unconditionally enough to be willing and allowed to choose whatever they believe is best for them.
But you can still help them in...
You can always share ideas. They don't have to take them.
Okay.
And if they don't want to take them, and in that sense that causes their vibration to not necessarily share in a particular reality with you, the idea is that if you do not allow them to make their own choices, then you're not really in a relationship with them anyway at all.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes, because it's free will.
Absolutely. And remember, please, you are all infinite, eternal spirits. You are always together somewhere. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Family, in that sense, is always family. And on some level, even if there seems to be the experience of temporary separation, you will always find each other again. Always. Always. Because all you're dealing with now is a personality construct. You follow me?
Yes.
The whole being, in that sense, is always with you. But it would serve you, perhaps, to simply not put any expectation on it and simply be who you prefer to be. And that will give others the best opportunity to really see by example who you are and really determine whether or not that vibration is something that they are capable of sharing. If you worry about the separation, you're only really putting out the vibration of separation. And thus, that's all you're giving them to work with. You follow?
Yes.
Does that help you?
Yeah. Just two other really quick questions. One is, as I study this and I find other beings that are apparently, obviously, down here, people are channeling them and that kind of thing. Is there a hierarchy?
Not from our point of view.
Well, like, do you guys work together on the other side? Like, the Arcturians are doing this, and the Syrians are over here doing this, and Orions are doing this, or do you have, like...
While there are, obviously, different dimensional vibrations that allow each of us to experience things in our own reality that others may not experience, with regard to what is going on Earth right now and all the communication taking place, there is an overall vibration in which we do all participate. Yes.
So you collaborate together and
synchronistically,
okay.
Yes.
Okay. So
now also understand there is, for lack of a better term, permission that is asked of the collective consciousness of your entire world for us to do so. So that's involved too.
Okay.
You follow me? What
yes.
you call the Krishna spirit, Christ consciousness, Buddha nature, whatever you wish to call it, the collective oversoul of your entire planet is something we have to go through to reach you.
Right.
So we orchestrate with that as well.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does. I remember you speaking of, different ships kind of placed around the Earth, holding a grid almost.
In a sense.
And certain ones would go in first, and
yes.
certain ones will go in.
Yes.
When you said
there is coordination in that sense, but it is mostly synchronistic.
Okay. And then lastly, I'm very fascinated by Atlantis.
Yes.
I do believe that many of us and myself were there.
Yes.
And Halloween
is the commemoration of the day before the destruction of Atlantis.
What was going on then? Like, what were we doing, and who was involved, and who was helping us or not? Because I know we were communicating with other beings. They helped us with.
Yes. But you're also asking about a span of history covering thousands of years.
Well, just the 12,000 years ago when we actually physically. At 12,000 years ago,
yes.
You know what I'm saying. We destroyed ourselves. What were we doing?
Well, you did and you didn't.
Kind of.
There were, of course, many factions, many polarities going on at that time that was causing disruption in the vibrational energy of that civilization. And in that sense, you could say that that vibration allowed those beings to take themselves into a reality that brought about the attraction of a destruction.
Earth change.
What you would call asteroidal impact.
Okay. That's what did it.
Yes. You will find the scars at the bottom of what you call the Atlantic Ocean that caused the tsunamis that wiped out Atlantis in the end. Although there were many destructions before that through natural geological change as well. The remnants are now what you would call basically the Caribbean islands. You understand?
Yes.
Now, the idea, of course, is that it was a high level of civilization that had a high level of understanding in many different kinds of disciplines. And there were although not exactly quite toward what you would call the end, there were very often communications and very direct interactions with other beings from other civilizations over the course of Atlantean history. But they had an understanding, and much of what has survived in other cultures and civilizations on your planet has been derived from old Atlantean knowledge. Certain architectural understandings, certain healing ideas, certain rituals, certain ideas in mythology, so to speak, are things that are representative of things that happened in Atlantean times. Do you follow? Mm-hmm. And now, you are to some degree coming back full circle to the idea. Many, many Atlanteans, because they are reincarnating, particularly in Europe and America, are giving themselves an opportunity once again to decide whether or not they want to go the same way, or whether or not they wish to change the idea of the cycle of destruction within themselves this time. You follow me?
Yes.
And you left yourself markers to follow as well, information to remind you of what happened before, so that you could decide whether or not to do it again.
Right.
Does this help?
It does. So now, since Halloween's 2 days away, is there an energy that's coming from there that affects us through cell memory or something?
It doesn't affect you that way, except through what connections you choose to make. If you wish to honor the passage of that civilization over what you call the Halloween holiday, then by all means bring honor to it, bring commitment to it, bring change to it. Honor it and value the experience and learn from it, and don't do the same thing again.
Okay.
Does that help you?
Yes, very much. Thank you.
And of course, have fun.
I shall.
Trick or treat.
Someone else? Okay.
I have a few questions about...
Hello.
Hello. Good day.
Good day.
Good day. I have a few questions about where you came from.
Where I come from?
Yes, where you come from.
Yes. My planet?
Yes.
Yes.
What is the name of your galaxy if it had a name in our language?
We don't name our galaxy. Do you mean like you name your Milky Way galaxy?
Yes.
Or are you talking about your solar system?
The galaxy.
The galaxy. Our galaxy is simply a representation of an association or an alliance. We usually just refer to it as the alliance or the association.
Okay.
Because it is made in that sense of many civilizations working together.
Okay. And what would the solar system be called?
Sha.
Sha.
That is the name of our star. Just as the name of your star is Sol,
Yes.
from which you get solar system. Our planet is Estathani. Estathani. In our ancient language, place of living light. The people themselves, simply Sathani, living light.
Thank you. That's all.
Well, thank you.
Look at his shirt.
Okay, thanks for being in our multidimensional city of New York.
All right.
The thing I want to ask about New York in these times of change is, since it's sort of a world capital, does it exist in a greater frequency on many levels?
Absolutely.
More?
All of your planet exists on different levels. There is a particular level just above yours, so to speak, dimensionally speaking, you may euphemistically refer to as the Twilight Zone. Mm-hmm. It is a template level. No people inhabit it, but all the structures are there. You all use it to plan out what you want to do in physical reality. It's like a large playground that many of you go to when you're sleeping and play out certain scenarios in the very same city surroundings to decide what it is you will do in the actual physical reality.
So will New York maintain itself as a world capital in the years to come, or will there be other places that will kind of come to the forefront?
There will be other places, but New York will not subside in that sense. It will also remain, in that sense, a spot of high energy.
Will it be a key factor in the coming of contact?
It will.
It will.
Although much of the initial contacts may take place outside the city first.
Can you just say something about the way people live here? That is it an evolution of culture, or is it a de-evolution?
It is a practicing of the coming together of diversification. It is the honoring of the idea that through the honoring of diversity, you create true unity. You follow me?
Yes, in that way it's an evolution.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for visiting us here.
It is our pleasure to receive the vibration of your location.
Thank you.
Blessings, Bashar.
And to you, good day and blessings.
It was synchronistic to sit next to this woman.
All right. Thank you for your synchronicity.
I was coming here. I would like your reflection through another channel. I was coming here to work as a shaman and create a ceremony for Halamas and other work, and I was slowed down a day to get here, and transmissions were requested that on the November 12th I line up with 5 anchors, a 5-pointed star, and bring through a neutral frequency vibration, I believe through the Orion Gateway, that seems to line up with the Istanbul and the Atlantean Temple in Bimini.
Yes. And also Baalbek.
Oh, Maldek?
Baalbek.
Oh, what's that?
Is a location on your planet known as Lebanon.
Oh.
The home of an ancient civilization of which some remnants remain. The vibration also of the Orion Gate is strong in that area.
Oh.
And so?
Could you give help with some ways that I can help integrate the 5 anchors to participate and integrate on a deeper level?
The idea of the assimilation and balancing of the ancient Orion energy into neutralization involves the understanding that it is no longer necessary nor constructive to fight fire with fire, but to understand that water is required.
Oh, because they want us to work next to the water at the end of the island.
Yes. And that vibration of soothingness deep into the soul. Any meditation, any ritual, any exercise that allows the impartation of the vibration of water in its soothing qualities deep into the soul will help quench the Orion fires of ancient times.
Will this assist in bringing, will this neutrality assist in bringing forth a frequency to assist in releasing the attachment still held by the Middle Earth to Atlantis?
It can, but again, all you can do in any kind of healing is offer a vibration, and it is up to the person to be healed to accept that vibration and match its frequency. But at least by providing that vibration, you give them more of an opportunity to choose from that, and that alone, that additional choice alone, adds momentum to the positive side of the equation. So yes.
Yes. And last, on a personal note, I feel that my twin, physical twin, and is she in Istanbul lining up with 5-pointed star 5 Magi herself?
One moment. It is not exactly the same thing, although there is some similarity to what you are talking about. It is our perception this is happening in a different way, though. One moment. Is there a contingent of other family there as well?
Not at all.
One moment. Then another contingent may need to be created for the energy to be truly anchored. A contingent of individuals close enough as friends to be considered family. Does that make sense to you?
No, I don't understand. Is there something I need to do? Or?
One moment. In what way do you communicate with your twin?
Oh, it's just intuitive. It's been a long time since she's communicated.
Then what needs to be sent through your communication intuitively is the idea that the gathering to your twin of friends that are as loved as family is the most important thing for that area to absorb.
In Istanbul?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
My question has to do with vibration and using certain crystals like these rhodosite crystals I have with respect to the 333,000 cycles per second means that we disappear from this physical dimension. But,
well, so to speak, yes.
But so what can I do to continue accelerating my vibration with crystals?
Well,
because that's what excites me.
Yes, all right. Well, you have, in a sense, answered your own question. The idea that it excites you allows you to understand that working with those symbols and those, shall we say, holders of information, those matrices of information, will allow you to gravitate toward whatever crystals are appropriate to represent whatever information you happen to be needing to work with at any given moment to aid and assist in the overall transformation. Does that make sense?
Yes. Would you be able to elaborate on some of the properties of this rhodosite crystal?
One moment. That one specifically, or that in general?
The matrix of such, and plus the ones I'm holding.
One moment. Information is contained therein in an organized pattern that has to do with the understanding of how to build the foundation of a new society based on appreciation and love.
Wow.
You understand?
Yes.
That's what that specific frequency is as we perceive it.
Okay.
So it can, by using it, trigger within you and your imagination ideas that you can act upon that will then go toward the strengthening of, creation of, a foundation of building new ideas, new systems, new civilizations, but built upon appreciation and love.
And how would it interact with the stone called moldavite?
That will, to some degree, give you an opportunity to have some extraterrestrial amplification.
Okay.
Does that help you?
Sure. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. And also, one moment.
Oh, okay. Okay.
One moment, and also.
Okay.
Are we dealing here with the idea of the colors red and green?
Green, the moldavite, but this one is more of a yellowish.
All right, one moment. All right. One moment.
And how exactly do you switch timelines? Can it feel seamless and easy? How will I know that I switched timelines? Can I ask for an obvious sign like a new freckle that I didn't have before?
Sometimes there are physical manifestations of having made a switch, but again, remember, you are switching all the time. So yes, it is usually seamless. You don't even know you're doing it. When it is necessary for you to recognize that you have shifted into a parallel reality, again, you're doing this billions of times per second, but when it becomes necessary for you to recognize that you're doing it, when it is something that you need to experience as not being seamless, when you notice the shift, it can happen in many different ways. You can just get a feeling, an energy surge. You might see something different on your body that you didn't notice before. You might see things differently in your surrounding reality that you didn't notice before. You might see things appearing that weren't there a moment ago or disappearing that were there a moment ago. There can be many different ways in which you can recognize you have shifted. It just depends on the person and what is relevant for your life path. But remember that you're shifting all the time. It is usually seamless. It is not something you necessarily have to pay attention to. It is something that happens automatically as you guide yourself by making your choices, and then that determines and controls exactly how you're shifting. That's why, again, we give you the formula, because it is a very precise navigational tool that will allow you to navigate through the shifting into different parallel realities in a way that works to your advantage, that is relevant for the experience in a positive way of what you laid out in your life path.
And is it possible to move from one reality to the next without having the death experience?
Again, you're shifting all the time. So you are moving from one reality to another in a sense without the idea of experiencing death. So yes, it's possible, But again, the idea of death is something a little bit different because you're waking back up into yourself as a soul, as a spirit, and it serves a different function. It serves a different purpose. It gives you the opportunity to make choices on a different level.
Okay, and this next question is why must we humans shift to a certain vibration if there exists an intelligent universe and higher beings that are able to translate our intentions and wishes? Why is it so complicated to shift to a reality we prefer?
It is all about the process of learning how to do that by going through the process. That's why you chose to have a physical experience, so that you challenge yourself in a different way than you challenge yourself in spirit. And by challenging yourself through the idea of the experience of physical processes, you gain knowledge and insight and lessons and growth in a different way than you would in spirit. The idea that there may be other beings that exist on higher levels has nothing at all to do with the choices you have made for what you will experience in your particular life path. They may assist you, you may have a team behind you, but they will only be able to assist you on the life path that you all agreed you would experience and the processes you agreed that you would go through because your soul determined that that's what you needed for your particular kind of growth that you preferred. So you are living out your life path and will go through these challenges and processes because they are the lessons that you need to learn to grow in the way that you chose to as a soul.
Okay, and this individual is saying that during the night between November 30th and December 1st, they felt a wave of positive vibration go through their body that woke them up. It was like an earthquake or the pressure wave from an explosion. I could feel and even see it. Before this, I dreamed of a small yellow oval-shaped light slowly falling onto my balcony. I sensed it might be delivering a message. Could this experience be connected to the CE5 contact I did the evening before? Some are linking the Schumann resonance during the time frame to a timeline shift. What could have happened here?
Yes, you had an encounter. You opened up to the idea in your CE5 of inviting an encounter, and therefore you had one. But it took place on different levels of reality, and so seems a little bit confusing to you because it didn't necessarily take place in your physical reality in totality. So, by experiencing that encounter in a slightly altered version of reality, it is something that doesn't quite make sense to you when you wake up in the morning and start to remember what you experienced, sort of similar to the idea of a dream. Nevertheless, it was representative of an encounter you had invited to have happen.
And since we are constantly shifting between realities, if we feel we've given away our energy, become disconnected, or fallen out of balance, is it necessary to go back and fix or clarify the situation with the person or circumstance involved? Or can we simply reclaim our energy, reconnect within ourselves, and move forward? In general, when is it best to address the past versus letting go and moving on?
It depends on the circumstance, the situation. If you feel it is important for you in some way, shape, or form to clarify your intentions with another person in terms of what happened, that's all well and good. If you're not necessarily able to do that, or it's really not necessarily relevant for you to do that, you can simply learn the lesson and move forward. Either can work.
Okay. And can you give us some suggestions or tools to more easily access our parallel lives?
Again, you're accessing them all the time when you need to, when it's relevant for your life path to download information from a parallel reality experience. You don't always need to know that that's happening consciously. Let it happen automatically. If it becomes relevant for you to know that, then by following the formula, synchronicity will bring it to your attention when and where it's important for you to have a realization that that's happening. Otherwise, don't interfere with the mechanism. Let it function and flow naturally, automatically, so that you can simply move forward in your life by downloading what you need from where you need it, when you need it.
Okay, and this person is talking about seeing things and then they like disappear, bows, Christmas bows, candles, just things disappearing. When that happens, what's the best way to interpret such events?
We have already discussed this. The idea is that when you are shifting realities in a way where you become very aware that you're shifting, you may see the shift in certain circumstances, like things appearing that weren't there a moment ago or things disappearing that were there a moment ago. So this can be one of the signs that you are broadening your bandwidth of awareness in such a manner that you are proving to yourself that you are actually shifting different realities.
Okay. And if we are constantly shifting to different realities and experiencing different versions of people, then who are we really in relationship with? What makes our family or our friends and our close friends, our close family, which versions of them are we connected with in spirit?
You may be dealing with different versions that are extensions of their greater oversoul. When you shift to a different reality and are interacting with a different version of them, it may be a different extension of the greater oversoul that they are connected to.
Okay, and this one is kind of interesting. There have been times when this person practiced creating their own reality, such as imagining a shift to a reality where the person they wanted as their boyfriend would show up on a plane and say he wants to join her on his trip. However, when I focus on believing I can shift instantly, I start to feel extremely anxious. Why does this happen? And is it really anxiety or is it something else?
It is anxiety produced by the insistence that you have that things have to happen in a certain way, have to unfold in a certain way. You can have the visualization that represents an ideal outcome, but remember, you can't insist on it because you don't know that that's actually the ideal person for you to interact with at that moment in that way. So it is your insistence that it must happen that way that is causing resistance and therefore causes an anxiety energy within you.
Okay. And this person is saying they are curious about what you are learning from our interpretations of the oracle statement that was delivered in the last transmission. Can you tell us what you have been able to determine from observing our interpretations of that statement?
As we already mentioned in one of our transmissions, we will not be discussing anything having to do with your interpretations of what the oracle downloaded to you.
Okay, and so does that eliminate this question about the Anunnaki name for their home world being Ashea and the Sasani word for the oracle being Ashaya? They sounded similar and they were wondering if that was synchronicity or if you could tell us something about that synchronicity.
This was a downloadable glitch. The name of the world is actually Essa. It was simply that there was a residual energy and a residual pod of information that was downloaded to the channel with regard to the idea of the name of the oracle, which means spirit light, Ashaya, in our ancient language, and the idea still that the residual existed within the channel's neurological net that allowed it to be translated with the same word, when in fact the word and the name of the world actually is Essa.
Okay, thank you. You spoke in your last transmission about the importance of balancing masculine and feminine energy at this time and seemed to be encouraging us to lean into the feminine. To clarify, when you're talking about feminine energy leading to a more preferable form of open contact, are you saying to move away from masculine energy entirely, or rather to integrate masculine energy in a healthy way with the feminine? What would a healthy masculine energy balance in line with open contact look like?
Obviously, if you understand all the messages we have delivered to you, we are never going to tell you to move away from one energy or another. It's all about the idea of integration and balance. So the feminine energy of nurturing and support in that way can be balanced with the masculine energy of assertiveness and standing one's ground, expressed in a non-violent way, not in an aggressive way, but in an assertive way, in a knowledgeable way. And both sides can benefit from this in a balanced state, where you can have something as a masculine energy, or what is typically referred to as a masculine energy, that doesn't even necessarily have to be looked at anymore as masculine, whereas the idea of a nurturing and supportive energy doesn't even necessarily have to be looked at anymore as a specifically feminine energy, where you can have beings that are confident in themselves, capable of being so confident and assertive about who they are that they are capable of expressing a nurturing and supportive energy to others and being of service in that way. So the balance is that that's how it would look. You are grounded and assertive and confident within yourself enough that you can actually be of service in supporting others in their life path as well.
And it seems that you put a great focus on us finding balance in our reactions on different levels. Could you expand on that? Is there any exercise or meditation that you could offer for us to practice balance?
Well, again, the idea would be to ask yourself why you would choose something that would be representative of being out of balance. In other words, the idea of knowing yourself more fully, more transparently, is very important to the process of staying in balance, because then you understand why you believe what you believe and can easily or more easily recognize when it might not be representative of being in balance with yourself, of not being within integrity within who you truly are, within your essential core frequency or vibration. So the idea is to ask, why would I choose something that would be out of balance? Why would I do that? It is all part of knowing yourself. It's all part of your self-investigation and recognizing the idea that we have just described as being in balance by having a assertive confidence about who you are and your preferences, and yet at the same time also being open to the strength in vulnerability that allows you to be of service to others. That is a representation of balance, and so why would you choose anything other than that?
Okay, and you once mentioned the importance of storytelling for our civilization, especially for kids. What key elements must a story touch upon to resonate from your perspective?
You have all the information of the key story points in your reality. You can read The Hero's Journey by Joseph Campbell. You can read almost any book written about writing screenplays. They all touch on the idea of the resonant points of story structure that exist within your psyche that need to be accessed when telling a story so that the story rings true within your mentality, within your psyche. So refer to any of those kinds of books to explain the concepts of story structure. They also are representative of ideas in your actual life path that make your life relevant and explain the idea of why you go through processes to learn lessons. So reading about the idea of story structure in some of those books can help you understand why you choose to go through physical reality processes to gain more insight and create more discovery about who you are and grow as a soul.
And this person is saying that they're a bit confused about how two things you mentioned work together. On one hand, you said that when we speak with you, we are essentially speaking with ourselves. On the other, you said you're observing us to see how we evolve and determine if we're ready for open contact. From a human perspective, these ideas seem contradictory. Can you help clarify this?
Yes, they are not contradictory in the sense that I am a reflection of what your higher mind would say to you. So in that sense, speaking to yourself means that the conversations you are having with us are somewhat representative of the kind of answers you would receive from your higher mind, from your own soul. We are a representation of that. At the same time, we are our own person and therefore can have a separate observational regard for what it is we are watching, what it is we are observing. We can function in both ways. We are a multidimensional being just like you are. We have our own identity and can observe as ourselves, and yet at the same time can perform the function of being a reflection of the kind of conversations you would have with your own higher mind.
Thank you.
Yes.
As you've encouraged us to start conversations with those on the other side, I've been following my highest excitement by trying to engage meaningfully with family members whose views I deeply disagree with, especially when those views seem rooted in prejudice or hatred. I genuinely want to respond with curiosity and understand their perspective, but my reactions of sadness, pain, and ultimately disgust often show on my face and shut down the conversation. I recognize these emotions stem from my own thoughts and beliefs, but I'm unsure of how to identify the limiting beliefs that are preventing me from fostering genuine dialogue and connection. How can I shift my perspective to keep the conversation open despite the hurt that I feel?
The hurt you feel is based on the idea that you are judging yourself based on what they are saying, that you feel that what they are saying you're taking personally, as if it disqualifies or invalidates the beliefs that you have, just because they have contrary beliefs. So don't take it personally. Allow yourself to understand that they can make whatever statement they wish to make. It has nothing to do with invalidating the beliefs that you hold to be true for your reality. So the only reason you feel hurt is that in some way, shape, or form, you are thinking that what they are saying is invalidating the beliefs that are relevant for your reality.
Okay, and can you explain the concept of free will of others in the context of the multiverse? For example, if I wish to be in a universe where my marriage is working, where is the boundary between my being able to access that universe, which should be limitless, and my partner having his own free will of not wanting to, which is a limitation?
Well, it can be a limitation, but sometimes it's also representative of what is and isn't vibrationally relevant or compatible for someone's life path. So you don't necessarily have to look at someone's differences as a limitation if they are actually truly understanding what is relevant for their life path, which may not necessarily mean that they need to continue the relationship with you. However, there may be some small degree of insistence that it has to work out the way you want it to work out. Nevertheless, the idea is to explore whether or not there is enough common ground or whether your differences are vibrationally compatible with one another, that you can be willing to reflect to each other what you need to know to become more of who each of you are. If you're willing to do that, if you're both willing to do that, then the relationship can continue in a certain way. But if one or the other, for some reason, whether it is a limitation or not, is simply not willing to move forward in reflecting to the other what you need to become more of who you are, then it is something that may need to be discontinued, and that could be the most loving thing to do, to allow each of you to attract into your lives what you actually need to have reflected to you by another individual who will help you become more of who you are, rather than struggling to make something work that each party is simply not capable of vibrationally finding enough compatibility to do so.
Okay, and can you talk about the energy of resistance and avoidance? If we find that we are resistant about a particular path or teaching and not sure if it's right for us, is that a sign that it actually is part of our path, or can we have resistance to things for healthy reasons too? How can we tell the difference between something we are avoiding that is good for us and something that we are resisting because it might not be good for us?
This goes back to the old idea of understanding yourself clearly enough to know the difference between what is representative of your passion and what is representative of anxiety within you. You have to know yourself more clearly. The idea isn't that difficult to tell the difference.
when you are honestly willing to look at why you believe what you believe to be true. So the idea is to ask those questions and to understand that when you recognize that something is not vibrationally compatible with you, it's not about resisting it. That's not the energy that you would experience. You would simply recognize an alignment within yourself that is simply telling you that this is not vibrationally compatible with your life path or with who you truly are. You won't feel a resistance to it. You will simply not be able to relate to it in a certain way. So that's a different feeling than experiencing resistance. If you actually experience the energy of resistance, then that may be a sign that you're actually avoiding something you need to explore or you need to look at. So the energy of recognizing something that is not relevant for you, not vibrationally compatible, is different kind of energy than the energy of resistance, which can build up in your body in a very different way. So if you find that you do feel that resistance, let yourself move forward a little bit to explore why that resistance is there, because you may be avoiding something that you really need to look at. If you get to a point in examining all that and exploring all that and looking within yourself more clearly and get to a point where you realize that it has been about simply not being vibrationally compatible all along, then fine. The energy will change from the energy of resistance to simply the energy of recognition that this is not vibrationally compatible with who you prefer to be. It will feel very different. It will feel more like a release. It will feel more like a lightening of your energy rather than the energy of resistance.
Okay, thank you.
My name is Alexander. Pleasure to meet you. I've had this weird experience that I now have been learning from one of my guides and teachers, that they believe that I met my past incarnation in this life, and it caused me to experience a massive expansion in consciousness as a result. And now I look back at my life, I look back at experiences, and like I don't remember them the same anymore. And because when I bounce them off people, like family members, they're telling me a different experience that I remember, and it's making me feel like I'm going crazy. But my question is, I've been having these high rises of consciousness where I'm super present, super aware, super there, and then it just drifts away, and then I become like unconscious again. And I wonder how your species, how your kind has dealt with this while they've been like let's say you're born, as a different species, another race, wherever, and your kind is more evolved than our kind. So how would you guys have been teaching your younger species how to deal with the waves of coming and going of presence? I'd really like a tool for that, if that's okay.
Well, first of all, the idea is that you're opening up to being able to experience the concept of parallel realities more concretely, because past isn't really past, it's just another parallel reality that exists simultaneously with what you consider your present focus to be. So the idea is that you're opening up to being able to experience parallel realities. You'll get used to it. Don't worry about it. Move forward in your life by following the formula. Synchronicity will start arranging things in a way that will make sense in terms of what it is you're tapping into in a parallel reality and how you can use the information that you're tapping into to download it in a way you can apply it in your present life, in your present focus, in a way that benefits you. But you have to be okay with understanding that as you expand your consciousness, you're going to suddenly be aware of all sorts of parallel realities that you're connecting to, because you are a greater being that covers more than one reality. So it's just part of the symptoms of expanding your consciousness in this day and age. Allow yourself to follow the formula, to allow synchronicity to organize this in a way that you can use it in a practical sense in your physical incarnational experience.
Good day, Bashar. Very excited to meet with you. I'm very grateful for this opportunity.
It is our passion and our pleasure to interact with you as well. What would you like to discuss?
Well, there are several things. Obviously, first of all, you and I seem to have a similar sense of humor, and I have wondered what role a sense of humor has in the achieving and maintaining a higher vibrational state?
Well, humor is a higher vibrational state because humor fundamentally is an ability to form unexpected associations, unexpected connections to things that people might not ordinarily make connections to. So it is an expansion of your ability to holographically see how things are more connected and to express those connections in what might be considered an unusual way that opens people up to different perspectives.
Very good. I just know that you and I are very similar in that sense. I almost feel like we have met sometime in the past or have existed.
Well, you do have connections to our general frequency, and therefore it feels familiar to you. Yes.
Yes. Yes. All right. Secondly,
yes.
One of my higher flow states that I achieve has been in sports, in participating in sports. Do the Essassani have anything equivalent to that?
Well, yes, we have games, and you might call them sports, but it's not in competition with each other. It's in competition with ourselves.
Okay, well, yes, that's pretty much my attitude. I do like to, quote, to win or be victorious, but at the same time, I'm more concerned about how well I perform to a level that I think I should be.
Yes, and in that context, everything that we experience is a win. There is no winning and losing in our society. There is, what did you learn in that experience? And if you learned something and you grew, that's a win. So even though there may be collective involvement, we're all there synchronistically to allow each other to experience our own individual wins, our individual growth in how we experience that particular exercise.
Okay. Delving into extraterrestrial races, if that's okay.
Yes.
Are there any that are actually genetically equivalent to humans on Earth?
Well, very much closely genetically connected, like the Pleiadians, who are in a sense your distant cousins. Right. So like that, yes. There are genetic connections between humans on Earth and different species. But after a point, it becomes very, very different, and many alien societies look nothing like you. But there are several that do, primarily not only just because of the morphogenetic fields that say this is a efficient form, so they look humanoid or human-like, even though they may not necessarily be directly genetically connected to you in the way that you think, but there are some that are actually truly genetically family.
Right. Okay. So they
such as us.
Have they populated the Earth at some point?
There have been times in the past where other societies have taken advantage of the Earth environment for a period of time. Yes.
Okay. All right.
It's part of the history that you don't know.
Right. Okay. And that will be revealed at some point?
Eventually, yes, after open contact.
Okay. Something I wonder about you specifically, how much do these sessions deplete you, or do they deplete you in any way?
No, of course not. Why would they deplete me? Why would I do it if they did?
Well, as a first contact specialist, that being your desired role,
yes,
that doesn't necessarily mean it wouldn't necessarily have some impact on you per se, I guess.
Well, the impact it has is that it energizes us.
Okay.
It is what we love to do. And therefore, we are operating at a very high frequency, and at a high frequency, we are energized. It never depletes us because we are simply being a conduit for a higher frequency, passing through us, leaving us with energy. It doesn't take energy away from us. It supports us with a higher frequency energy.
Yes, I know. Well, I'm feeling energized just in this little discussion. So I can imagine, I guess, that it has quite an impact on you in that case.
Yes.
I think that's going to be it.
All right.
I definitely appreciate your time and your dedication.
Again, the dedication is automatic when you are focused on what you love to do. So, we thank you. Aveo.
Aveo.
Good day.
Good day.
Hi, Bashar. Alicia here. I wanted to speak about an experience I had maybe 6 years ago relative to our time. And the experience is with Source itself, all that is. And I would describe it as very similar to the sun, but a white ball of energy. And I could imagine, I can still feel it almost being hit with, just fire. I felt like I was being burnt, but I knew it was unconditional love and acceptance. And I remember floating and, just telepathically speaking with Source. And not too long after that, I ended up just shutting the door, shutting off all from metaphysics, quantum mechanics, spirituality, and I just closed it off. And I want to understand why Source decided that would be the opportune moment for me to experience itself. And why, knowing that after experiencing, I would shut it off and completely close that door. And I want to understand what my purpose is, because I still am wanting to understand. And I feel like there's a block that is preventing me from doing so after already knowing and being exposed to a multitude of truths and itself.
Well, you were shown what you actually are, that you are Source, you come from Source. You are given the vibration to reach for through the challenges in your life. So you shut down the direct connection so that you could climb the ladder by going through and facing the challenges that would ultimately bring you back to being able to connect to that frequency again. But you were given the opportunity to know exactly what that frequency feels like, so that you have something to aim for and understand that that's where the challenges that you choose to transform in positive ways will ultimately take you if you keep transforming those challenges. Good day.
Thank you so much for this interaction, Bashar.
It is our passion and our pleasure.
So you've described both the physical body and the personality structure as being the prism through which our pure consciousness is filtered in order to create our physical reality experience.
Yes.
I was wondering, what is the difference then between the personality structure and the physical body?
Well, the personality structure is what determines what the physical body is going to be in terms of how it arranges its DNA components when it is laid out on the blueprint level. Does that make sense? Do you understand?
So the personality structure, the beliefs, thoughts, and emotions do that?
Yes, it's all woven into the structure of the genetics that will reinforce the belief system that is germane for that personality structure to have in order to face the challenges that the soul chose to face in that physical experience. So when the body is being formed, shall we say, when it's being patterned, when it is about to be born physically, the vibrations structure the DNA to structure the body, to incorporate the belief systems within that genetic structure, to incorporate it within the personality structure, so that that body will express itself, that personality will express itself in the way that is necessary for it to face the challenges it chose to face for the soul's growth. Does that make sense?
Yes. To some degree, it makes sense. I will need to absorb it a little more, but...
All right.
So all of those... So it sounds like the beliefs part of the personality structure comes before anything else?
In the forming of the personality, yes, the belief systems have to be there. Now, there is some looseness to it at the beginning, and the looseness is crystallized and solidified over a brief period of time, over a few years, when the belief system is also willing to absorb belief systems from its surroundings, from its parents, its schooling, its society, so on and so forth, to complete the picture that that personality needs in order to face the challenges in the way it needs to face those challenges, to learn, to grow, and to have the experience it chose to have. So the genetics are arranged with some structure, but also arranged to allow for some belief systems from its environment to come in to complete the structure that it will then face as a physical persona growing up.
Okay, and so that's almost set in stone after a certain age?
Yes, somewhere around 7 years of age, 9 years of age, it becomes more crystallized, and now you are on the momentum, you're on the path of experiencing the challenges you chose to experience for your soul's growth.
Okay, but we're still able to change our beliefs. We've been told that we can.
But that's part of the process of the soul growing, is to learn how to do that.
Okay.
That's what you set yourself up to do. I'm going to impose these particular belief systems that I will have the opportunity to change. It is that process of change that allows the soul to discover something new and to grow. So you set yourself up with things that ideally you will be able to change.
I see. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. The next question I have is about as above, so below.
Yes.
You say everything in physical reality has a spirit version of itself.
First, yes.
Okay.
So in a sense, it's really more like anything in spirit has potentially a physical version if relevant. There are more things in spirit than there are on earth. As is in your text, there are more things in heaven than you imagine in your philosophy. So there are more things in spirit than you experience on earth, because not everything is relevant to experience in the physical way. But everything that is physical has a component in spirit first.
Okay. How would something like a disease that is in physical reality that we see the symptoms of, how would that look in spirit, for example?
As a pattern of energy that is, from your perspective, potentially discordant.
Okay, so there can be discordant things in spirit, anything.
Well, let me put it this way. It's like a blueprint. I'm going to have this experience of this disease, which is something that is representative of being out of balance with my core frequency. So as a blueprint, you may see it as something that looks like it's slightly shifted off of the center core essential frequency in a way that would cause a discordant harmonic between the two. Just to put it in energy terms.
Okay. Makes sense. All right. Now I have some questions about the social experiment.
Yes.
Now for the letter we sent out, it was
Yeah.
it was signed the Interstellar Alliance Social Experiment Group.
Yes.
And I'm a member of that. I've been doing the steps, but I didn't consciously write the letter. I was just wondering who actually wrote it, and how did you use our consciousnesses in writing?
In exactly the same way that you are experiencing conversation with us now. We downloaded it to the channel, who then translated it into words on his computer.
Okay. So it's a reflection of our collective higher mind.
Always.
The letter. Mm-hmm. Okay. And that's, I guess, how all the social experiment steps were created as well.
Yes, but it's also a reflection of something that allows us to observe the reactions of individuals who choose to participate.
Now, what will happen if people want to embellish the ID cards? Or
the degree to which that might be done, even though we are suggesting that it may not necessarily be done, will again tell us something about the way people perceive things, how they approach things, how they interact with things. And that's part of the reason for this social experiment, is not only for you to utilize these things to your own effect and your own advantage, but for us to observe what happens when you do them, when you align with it, or when you do something different than we suggested.
Okay. On that same general theme, I sent a letter out to one of my senators, and he suggested that I call someone who works under him, who's in charge of the space aspect of his work, I guess, and to talk about this subject with him. And I felt excited to do that, but then I thought maybe this is going out of the bounds of the social experiment since it was connected to the letter. Do you have any guidance on that?
You may have a conversation. It depends on what the subject is. But again, you can also turn them on to the idea of the origin of that letter and let them discover things for themselves. But it's all right to have a conversation about subjects that are similar to what is covered in the letter.
Okay.
All we are basically saying is you don't necessarily have to explain what the social experiment is to them, but you can certainly discuss subjects that are contained within the idea of the social experiment, like the existence of extraterrestrial beings and the desire for disclosure and things like that.
Okay. And I can refer them to bashar.org for
If they wish to understand the actual parameters involved in the social experiment, yes, that you don't have to explain. They can find that out for themselves. But you can certainly have discussions about subjects that are peripheral to what the letter is about.
Okay. What does a white flower symbolize to the collective consciousness of the Interstellar Alliance?
The opening of consciousness to higher vibrations, to higher light.
Okay. All right. Well, I thank you very much. I love you very much. And thank you so much for this interaction.
Our unconditional love to you as well. Aveo. Good day.
Aveo.
Hello, Bashar and Darryl. My name is Medina. So my question is, I'm really curious what happens to children during this transformation. How are they handling this? What's happening during this shifting to this fifth dimensional earth? Are they automatically shifting, or do they need to also work on themselves to get into higher frequency? Are they naturally in high frequency? I have two boys, 12 and 8, and I would love for us to be on the same frequency, and I always think about it. Even though I work on myself, my husband works on himself, and we try to help them as well, but they are kids. So please let me know everything is okay. Thank you.
Everything is okay. That's really all you need to focus on. Everyone has their own path. You will always all be together at some point, whether it's physically or not. You're going to a fourth density Earth. Fifth density is non-physical. You're tapping into fifth density energy to imbue it in your third density body so that you can experience a fourth density physical reality. Kids are very intuitive. They're very still connected more than a lot of adults to the idea of spirit. But of course, it's all about what path they have chosen, what themes they are exploring, and what they're picking up from the adults in their society as to how they are capable or not of dealing with what they face in life. So the more you are willing to be creative and imaginative, allowing them to discover for themselves their self-empowerment, what their passion is all about, to learn the things they need to learn to thrive in physical reality by adopting their excitement to those lessons, rather than diminishing their excitement to learn those things, then ultimately you will have to know that they will be okay. And when and where it is important and relevant for you to be together, you will be together. So we would simply suggest that you don't worry about it, because that's a negative vibration that will actually cause things to take longer for you to experience the idea of the connection between all of you and your family, but you will always be members of a soul family, no matter how or where or when you experience that. So ultimately, everything is okay. Start relaxing into the flow of the way things unfold. Do not worry negatively so much about where they're going to wind up. They are infinite and indestructible spirits, just like you are, even though they may present themselves as physical children right now. So you have to see them for the spirits that they are and the journeys that they chose to experience for their own soul's growth. You have to see them as strong enough to handle anything, even though it may seem from time to time that their physical personalities may be a little lost or confused or uncertain. It's okay. It's part of the process of them allowing themselves to remember who they truly are. And as long as you are lovingly reminding them of that, especially by being a living example of who you are, then they'll take their cue from you when and where it's relevant for them to do so. So again, don't worry. Everything is okay.
Hello, Bashar and Company. My question is in regards to planet that has been dubbed K2-18b. I was just wondering if you'd be able to tell us anything about this planet. It's been speculated that it's a gas planet or that it's an ocean planet. It's also apparently the James Webb Space Telescope has found evidence of carbon dioxide and methane, which is indicative of life, at least as far as we know it. So I was just wondering if you could verify any of this or what you could tell us about this planet that would be of interest to us, and including maybe whether we will be visiting it anytime in my lifetime. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.
You will not visit the planet in your lifetime physically. You can certainly visit it astrally. There is life there, is an aquatic form of life. Eventually you will realize that, but not for many years.
Hello, dear Bashar.
Good day.
My question, can you hear me?
Yes.
My question today is about the Tucson, Arizona portals. Some friends took me we hiked to a portal. It was a very large saguaro cactus, and we stood under it, and it had the most incredible loving feeling that I've ever felt. My friend channeled 2 andromedans while we were there that said that they were very happy that we were there and that they liked it when people came to see them. And I really want to go back there a lot.
Aww.
Then that same day we went on Mount Lemon, and we went to the Hoodoos, where there was a huge, she said it's a massive portal where lots of ships, different ships and races go in and out all the time. It was very chaotic and loud and very, very noisy. So my question to you is, do you agree that those are portals? I mean, what I felt was real?
Yes. The idea is most people don't understand that from a certain point of view, your world is like Swiss cheese. There's holes everywhere. There's comings and goings everywhere. There are portals, some of them stronger, some of them weaker, but there are portals everywhere connecting you to different dimensions that are often used by higher frequency beings to travel and to connect to those different dimensions, or to pass through from one dimension to another, maybe simply using your portal as a transition point. So your world is very much like full of holes.
Oh, that's wonderful. A quick question more, and my last one is that many years ago I had a past life regression or a soul retrieval or something, I don't remember, with a lady, and deep sleep, whatever, I was in a trance or whatever. She told me that my mother, after it was over, she told me that my mother was an earth angel. My mother's passed away in 2005. And that my mother preferred the life that she once had, where she was a woman called a nail. And she had long, dark hair, which my mother did not in real life. Yeah. And she told me that she would always be with me, and that if I ever needed her, I have this blanket. She explained this blanket that I still have, and that I could just get that blanket and put it on me, and she would be there, or I didn't
All
even
right.
need to put the blanket on.
Yes.
So is my mother always going to be an earth angel like that, hovering around the earth?
Well, you understand that the term angel doesn't mean she's actually literally from the angelic realm. It just means
Right,
that
right.
she is of a vibration where she is willing to be of assistance, to be a guide, to assist and help wherever she is needed, and that she prefers that state of being. She prefers that representation because that to her feels more like her true self. It feels more like home. So, yes, of course. Now, beings on the other side have their own lives. They're not just hanging around waiting for you,
Right.
but they will be there when you need them because time for them is not what it is for you. And as soon as you truly need them, they can be there instantaneously. And they're always willing to do so because they are full of unconditional love for you.
Will she always be that kind of person on the other side, or will she eventually move on to do something else?
Everyone moves on, but that doesn't mean you still can't access that part of her because that always exists as a part of her greater being. It just depends on what her focus is on her journey for herself, but that doesn't mean that those parts within them are not always available to those that need them, because that's what it means to be a greater being, is you are many things to many people, and each individual can call upon the aspect of the greater being that they are familiar with, that they may need assistance from.
Okay, thank you so much. I love you so much, and thank you for this interaction today.
You are welcome. Our unconditional love to you as well. Good day.
Good day. Aveo.
Aveo.
Hi, Bashar. This is a question to a dream I had the other day. I was in this room I often go to, and together was my brother. And in the room there was these white tulips that I was being told that if I wanted to have a higher and deeper connection to you, I could eat one of them or more. I ate 3 or 4 and thinking these white tulips are a little bit too unreal to be real. And I remember the taste of them and eating them. You were very present in the room the whole time. There was also a woman there observing the action of my brother and me, and she asked me why we did so. And I asked and explained to her. And then she said, if you really want to have this connection, I have the real one. And she gave me one flower. And I observed it. And the flower head of the white tulips, I could see all the pattern, like if I saw it under a microscope, holding it in my hands. Those white fluorescent colors going through the pattern of the flower. I ate it. It was very different taste. And I want to ask you, do you have any connection to the white tulips, and what would this dream mean to you? Thank you.
This is, in some sense, what we just talked about in terms of the symbol of a white flower, meaning that it is a permission slip symbolically presented in the form of a flower, energetically speaking, that allows you to open up to higher frequencies of consciousness, to open up to the light, the higher light. So it is a kind of energetic astral tool that is presented in a way that you understand as a life form, the flower, that allows, when you absorb it, things to open up within your consciousness as a flower opens to the light, but the different flavors represent opening up to different things, different energies, different frequencies, different realities. So that's basically what it represents as an astral experience that you had using those symbols that are representative of different forms of life on our planet and other planets and other dimensions, such as flowers, but they have that symbolic, energetic meaning as a permission slip. And therefore, ingesting them in the way that you did as an astral being allows your energy to open up to higher light, to experience more connections to more dimensions of reality.